Hey Royals, welcome to our team kit class for the month. If you have your kits, go ahead and grab them and you can stamp along. If not, still watch this video and learn how to make a one sheet wonder with a 6x6 piece of DSP. And the stamp set we'll be using is the Approaching Perfection Celebration stamp set to make these fun birthday cards. Go ahead and hold while I flip and I'll get started showing you guys how to make them. All right, let's get you guys all centered and ready so you can see everything just right. I have a crazy house today, so we'll see how loud it gets here. All right, so our cards we'll be making in the kit are 4 cards using one piece of a 6x6 DSP. I sent you guys the Bermuda Bay ones, and I'll have you stamp and cut everything except for this I've sent you already ready. Let me show you what our layouts will look like. So we have these ones. Let me see if I can get this to focus. There we go. So there's 4 different layouts. There, that one right there. But they're all very similar, and that's the fun thing about them. They use very similar measurements and cuts of paper, and we're just changing up that DSP, where it's going to be and how it's going to look. All right, you guys, go ahead, and if you're stamping, grab your inks and your stamps. For these cards, I try to use almost every single one of our sayings. So I'm using this stamps, this one, and that one. And even the little candles on one. The happy birthday I put on a clear block as well, because those are perfect to have in the inside of your card. You guys have Bermuda Bay. Today, though, I'm switching up and going a little bit more feminine. And I'm using the Rococo Rose. Let me see if you can see that. There we go. Right there. If you're here, feel free to say hi. If not, and you were catching the replay, that's totally awesome. Say hello again, and I will read your comments later. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. I'm glad you're here, and I'm excited to show you how to make this one sheet wonder class. All right, so what I've done is I've cut out 4 pieces of cardstock for our card bases, and I also have these circle shapes. These are the stitched shapes that come with either squares, circles, or ovals, and I like to use these circles. You could, if you only had the layering circles, you could totally just use that and just want to have the stitching on here. I also have this from the layering circles, so we do have a scalloped edge that will be for all of these as well. Hey Kelly, glad you're here. Happy Saturday. Yes, happy Saturday. Hopefully you guys are staying busy. I know this is a busy Saturday for my family. But it's a good kind of busy, a busy fun. All right, so I have these 4, and I have my ink ready to go, and I'm just going to go ahead and stamp a saying on each one. And I usually suggest stamping first when you're doing these projects, just so that way all at the same time. So I have this fun newsflash one, which I really do like the same, so you can read it. It says, newsflash, birthdays found to be good for health. Studies show that people who have more birthdays live the longest. Too funny. That is such a funny one, which I really like. This stamp set is a free one that you can get from Sale-a-bration starting in January. And unless you're a demonstrator like we are and you have gotten it early, perfect. That turned out great. All right. And then we have this one, which is super fun. The bad news is I forgot your birthday. The good news is I forgot your age. So win-win on this one. Sometimes I do send late cards, especially lately. I've been so bad sending out birthday cards this month that I think I just finally got them all out 2 days ago, and a lot of them were a week late. So this card would be a fun one to send to those people who I'm late for sending. This is a cute one. It says, if things really do get better with age, then you're approaching perfection, which is so fun because getting old sometimes isn't as fun as our bodies start to give up on us and everything. But the older we are really, truly getting more and more awesome each year. Perfect. So there's that one. So I only have one more that we're going to stamp on this one. And that's this, so what if you're a year older, you're fabulous. And this one could also be a good inside one. But we're going to sneak it on here. And you can tell it's smaller than the others, which is totally fine. But it doesn't take as much space on the same shape that we're using. So you could always use a smaller size, maybe a rectangle that would match the shape better. Or you could do what I've done, and I'm grabbing my little candles here, and you can either ink off or keep it full on, and we're just going to put a little bit of candles at the very bottom of this one. There we go, and that would make it just fill that space a little bit better, and you could even use an embellishment on top as needed. Okay, so those ones are stamping. Oh, guess what? I forgot, I'm going to stamp a little bit in the inside too. So you should have your Whisper White inserts, and those are always great to stamp to kind of finish the card. And I like to use the same stamp set to do that. So we're going to use the Happy Birthday from this one and ink it up and put it in both. There's that Happy Birthday. Oh, and look, it didn't turn out very well. So we're going to do the quick flip, and we're good to go again. I'm going to do a practice one, make sure this Happy Birthday is actually happy. Okay, looks like we can be good. I just didn't get a very good pressure on it. Let's go right there. Better, way better. This one I'm actually going to turn. Some of your cards are going to be the horizontal or more of the landscape look. So make sure you're mindful when you're stamping the insides, which direction your cards are going to open. We'll do Happy Birthday there. Again, I'm not getting a good pressure in there, so we'll just flip that one again. These ones will have double birthday greetings, and the person won't even know. Okay. Press down and lift up. So much better. We still have those cute little candles ready. And the stamp set even comes with a little balloon. So if you want to add balloons to yours instead, you totally could. So some candles in the middle. Or on the edge, and this one you could even use as a border and go the whole way across if you wanted to. I'm a fan of just doing the corners because it gives me more writing space, but it's totally up to you. You could also even stamp on the back of your card bases. I love to stamp another image right there as well, so that's up to you. So that way it is stamped from front to cover, front to back, all the way through. All right, I think I'm done now with our ink. So let me go ahead and put that away. Maybe. There we go. Our Rococo Rose. And we set everything aside, and we're going to grab our trimmer. I'm going to show you how to cut your DSP to get 4 different card designs out of it, which is pretty awesome. This is the 6x6, and this is that special Ombre DSP that's coming out with the Sale-a-bration that you can get for free with a $50 order. And most of you guys will probably earn this one. It's double-sided, so on the other side I have the Bermuda Bay, and then I have that Rococo Rose. I'm using the Rococo Rose today, so I'm going to use this side to cut. I'll have that facing up towards me. Let me grab our paper trimmer right here. And let me get our measurements ready. I have them right here. So what I like to do when I'm making cards like One Sheet Wonders, I'll make a little kind of a chart for myself to look at as a reference and also as a guide for when I'm teaching. So this is a 6x6 piece of paper, and I've went through, and what I do is I just use my paper trimmer. And I use it I measure it where it needs to be, and I close it up. Instead of cutting it, I just use my pencil, and that helps make a guide for me to see. So we are going to cut this piece of paper in these 3 different shapes /4, because we're going to cut this at an angle once we're done. Our first cut needs to be right here, though, this 1 3/4. So let's go ahead and do that one first. And you can pick whatever side you want it to be on. You can kind of see this ombre has a lighter side over here and more darker over there. So just pick a side that you would like to have. I'm going to go with this lighter side over here. And I'm going to measure at 1 3/4. Just like that. And slice it down. I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to turn this one. So I'm going to measure at 5 1/2. And all these measurements I'll have up on my blog later today, so you guys can use them as a reference and make this with multiple different card designs and paper designs. All right, so that one's ready to go. Next, I have this mount left, and what we need to do is cut off 2 inches from the top here. Or we could do 4, it doesn't matter which way. Watch, we'll do 4 here. And we'll do the 2. I'll just cut that with our blade. I almost was going to score it. All right, so this isn't quite our 4x4 yet, so we need to turn it one more time and measure it to the 4, and you will have just 2 leftover pieces from this one sheet wonder, which isn't too bad. The best one sheet wonders have no leftovers, but we have this little leftover strip, and we had that one earlier from this guy here. Okay, so that 4x4, we're going to take that 4x4 now, and we're going to line our corners up to our track here. So we're going to cut it just in half, and that's all I do. There's no extra measuring there. I just line it up and slice it. So we have 2 really awesome triangles, super easy. And then this one is already done. So that's the 2 and the 4 1/4. So that one's good to go. All right, let's go ahead and get our card bases out, and I'll show you how we start assembling. Let's see, I'm going to show you 2 things also. So there's 2 easy ways to cut your cardstock to make 2 cards out of 1 piece. And you can I always score the whole sheet first before I even cut. And this one used to look like this. And so I scored it at the 4 1/4, and then I turned it and I cut it at the 5 1/2, and I have 2 of these style of cards. Or you can score it at the 5 1/2 first, and then cut it at the 4 1/4, and then you'll have 2 of these styles cards, which are more of that longer look to it this way, but they end up being the exact same size. It's just a difference of how you want your cards to open and close. All right, let's go ahead and do this one. We're going to grab more of this horizontal look to it. And you're going to grab this piece right here, which is your 2 by 4 1/4. This one measures exactly the length of this, and you can slide it around anywhere you want on this piece of card base. I do like it to have just about 1/2 inch on this side, and we can glue that down. You can use either your liquid glue, or you can use your seal. Hey, Mandy. She said she's going to watch the replay. Awesome. No, that's the great thing about these Facebook Lives is that they are there. And then also when I have it on YouTube, you can watch it whenever you can get to it. No worries. I know Saturdays are kind of busy for most people, especially right now. Everyone's getting ready for Christmas. All right, so that was easy. All we did was put that on there. The next part is I have given you all pieces of these foil silver paper. And what I did is I cut them all the same shape. However, we need to cut 2 of them down. I think they're 1/2 inch by 6. We need to cut 2 down to be 5 1/2. We need the other ones to be a little bit longer for our triangle cards, and I'll show you why in just a second. So if you have your kit, you want to make sure you just trim this one down to that 5 1/2, and we'll take one more and do the same thing. Just like that. And you can use, if you were to, I tried this out also with the same card base color, and it totally looked great. So if you don't have foil paper handy like I do, grab that one, sorry. Hold it tight. And then you can just use the same color as your card base or an accent color from the DSP. The DSP today just has those 2 colors, the white and the ombre look of the Rococo Rose. So We didn't have very many choices for accents, so I thought the silver would be really fun. All right, so now we just need to add this on, and you can go wherever you want. You can have it below the halfway mark or exactly halfway. I wouldn't go too much further up. I like to have it a little bit lower than the halfway point. And just add some liquid glue, like that. And we will flip it and stick it. There we go. And we're going to go right about there. And if you want to make it really straight, just go ahead and use your grid line as a reference. Like that. And if you have too much DSP on this other side, I did pretty good, but if you have excess, you can always trim it right there as well. Okay, that's going to dry. Let's grab one of our sayings. I think we're going to use this one for this card. So if you're a year older, you're fabulous. And we're going to attach it to our scalloped shape right there. Just adding some liquid glue to get these two together. And then we're going to use dimensionals on the back. In your kits, I did not give you any embellishments at all because I want you to use your favorite. I think we all have like a go-to embellishment. And I usually use rhinestones and sometimes pearls, but we all have our favorites. And so I wanted to make sure you personalize your cards and just use an embellishment that you like. Kelly's asked me questions, is silver foil in the August-December catalog or in the new mini? I cannot remember. I thought it was in the annual, but I'll have to double check for you before we get done. Okay. So there's that one. Super basic and easy. And I can even add my happy birthday that we stamped earlier into the inside for this one. So I'll just flip that over. And you can see my oopsie again right there. I thought that silver was the annual one, but I can double check, Kelly. You can tell I usually use my liquid glue for most of my card to paper attaching, but when I do whisper white to like the inside of stuff, I usually use my seal just to avoid lines that I don't like. Okay, bone folder it, close it up, and get our edges really nice and crisp. And there we have that first card. That looks pretty awesome and very basic. If you wanted to even, this is a great one to make multiples of. It's just that 2 by 4 1/4, and it'd be easy to cut up DSP to make that design, that layout. This one, you can see I had going all the way over, and this is what it looks like when you have just a little bit strip coming off. Totally up to you how you want to do it. All right, next card, let's go ahead and grab this one right here. So we are going to use this style of card base this time. This is that longer, leaner look to it. And we are going to grab our DSP. Same thing. So you guys saw what we did last. We're just going to glue it, add our silver piece, and then add our label. And then you guys can embellish it however you want. I would love to know what some of you guys' embellishments are that you love to use. This one, what we're going to do is line it up right there on the edge, however. The other one, we had it going across the DSP. Now we're going to just line this one up so it covers that, kind of hides that line right there. Go over it. You can either have it overlap it a little bit or meet it exactly where it was and take up a little bit of that DSP showing. There we go. And then let's go ahead and add our label. We'll do the newsflash one for this one. And like I said, it doesn't matter which one you pick. That's why we stamped all of them first. You could even keep it all one saying, your favorite saying, and put that on your label. All right, let's grab our dimensionals again. I'll put those on. So these cards, once you have everything cut and ready to go, are really quick and easy to assemble. They're great for making multiples, and I know some of you guys have been doing a lot of card making for friends or for orders or Christmas gifts, and these ones come together so quick and nice that I highly recommend doing them. And if you have a 12 by 12 piece of paper, so we use a 6 by 6, you would get 16 cards out of a 12 by 12 using the same layout, which is pretty awesome. All right, so now we have this fun triangle shape that we're doing. Kelly said, yeah, clean lines, and that's exactly what these ones are. These are not high fuss, but just really basic layouts with clean lines. And you could always embellish and add more. That is for sure. So this one, let's go ahead and grab this card base here, that size, and we're going to grab our triangle. And you could pick a corner that you wanted, and I'm going to pick this corner right here. And we'll glue that down. I might actually add just a little bit more to that corner there. Hopefully we don't ooze out too much. And flip and stick it. And this is a 90-degree triangle, so it will fit just right on this corner if we line it up the right way. Let's see, did I do pretty good? Yep, it's not going too much over. That looks nice. Okay, now let's grab our 6 inch by 1/2 inch piece of foil, like that. And we'll add our glue, but before we do, I want you to kind of play with this. Let me get it so you see it really well. We want it to be able to cover it enough. So this one, we're going to overlap it and line it up on the DSP line. You see how I go like that? And then you're going to make sure we have enough going over, so that way when we cut off the ends, we'll have a straight in and no missing pieces. It'll fill the gaps. So flip that over. And you don't need to put glue on that very end because we're going to cut it. So go just about like that. And try to keep your glue in the center so when we squish it down, it doesn't come completely out because this is a smaller piece. We'll see how I did. Okay, so I'm going to line it up on my bottom to make sure that it's covering all of it, and then we're going to smooth it out just like that. Awesome. Then we'll flip it over and cut off the extra. Just use your paper snips and you line it up against that card base as your guide. You could take it to your paper trimmer too if you want to be exactly right, but I'm not too picky. All right, let me get that piece off. There we go. And we'll just cut this one right here as well. Just like that. Awesome. And then it looks like we have this great continual strip going through and matches our base. All right, you guys know the drill now. Grab your 2 layers, glue them together, pick your favorite saying for the card, and pop it up with dimensionals. I do recommend the liquid glue for this because I don't ever line up my scallops with my circles very well, and I have to just move them a little bit like that. And you just kind of pinch and pull, and it'll go where you want it to go. Okay, dimensional on there. And I usually use 3 when I do circles that are this size. If it gets any bigger, I'll go 4, sometimes 5 with 1 in the center. Okay, then just stick it kind of over that little strip there, and you've got an awesome another card. Perfect. Bone folder. I can't stress the use of a bone folder enough. I used to never use one. I thought it was like an extra thing that you didn't really need. Oh no, you need a bone folder. All right, this is our last one. It's very similar to the one we just did, but it's a different angle. So this one before, we had it turned this way and use that corner. This time we're going to flip our corners and have it on the left side. And it will be going more of the longer lean way versus the wider. So it gives a very similar look, but still a little different. Like I said, this makes a great set of cards to give as a gift because they look very nice together. Okay. So we just line up our DSP on there. You guys can see that right there. And we'll take our piece of foil. And that same thing, we're going to go over on it so we know that we have enough room and cut off the extra. Yes, these ones are very quick and easy, and it just is showing off some of the basics of stamping. You guys are all pros, but sometimes you forget that not everyone knows everything yet. And sometimes I even forget that, oh yeah, there's this great layout that I don't use very often that I totally cut. Okay, cutting off that excess. This one has a little bit of glue on it. That's okay. We'll just have to wipe off my scissors in a little bit. Okay, so we have that one. We just need to do our two pieces and embellish if needed, if wanted. I'm liking how flat these ones are. We'll make it for really nice, easy shipping of cards for the new year. Okay, let's do dimensionals on the back. And we're going to add our Insight Whisper White. I'm still in shock that Whisper White is retiring from Stampin' Up! And that we'll soon have Basic White. And I'm loving my Whisper White because I know it's going to be gone soon. But I'm using it very frugally because I'm afraid that I'll run out as well. All right. So Ashley just asked what color I'm using. I'm using the Rococo Rose for the demo today. And I gave out the Bermuda Bay for others to use. I feel like Bermuda Bay is that kind of blue that girls and boys can like. So this is more of my gender neutral one. And this is more of my very much girly one, which I found out I do not have very many girl birthday cards. And I've been sending a lot of my manly cards to my friends that are girls just because that's what I have the most of, because I've spent the whole year of 2020 making 4 manly cards every Monday, that I am going to start a Miss Monday, and we're going to retire Manly Monday here soon. As soon as the new year comes. So hopefully you guys want some more ideas for girl birthday cards, because that's what my Mondays will be in 2021. All right, so here are those final ones right there. And you can see how I've changed up the greetings on them. There's this one right there. And I have that one. And our last two. Super fun and easy cards. And now these are great cards to send in the mail and great cards for gift giving. I would put them all together and put them in either an acetate box or wrap it up really nice. And that would be an awesome gift to give to someone. Oh, I did want to show you guys one thing before we end today. My last Manly Monday, I did a DSP, I want to call it DSP flip. So let me show you. I made these cards with the exact same stamp set. So this is the Approaching Perfection stamp set that I used. And I made these cards. So that very same idea where they're very basic using DSP, and I just cut a whole piece of 4 by 5 1/4, and then I cut it halfway, and then I flipped one side of the DSP over. I used that same idea, but this time I used the gold foil, and I had it going through the middle to keep that kind of border look to it. Had a fun label and stamped that in there. And these ones are super fun and easy and quick to make, and to make a lot of them. And I love how that looks when we flip just one side of that DSP. So that's your bonus card of the day using that exact same stamp set that was in your kit. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know Saturdays are busy, and I'm glad you guys were able to join me a little bit, or if you're watching the replay. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and happy stamping, everyone. Goodbye.